Did you know that the frozen food sitting in your freezer could actually increase your chances of developing cancer or dementia once you're past 70? A lot of people assume frozen items are safe, convenient, and even healthy, but the reality isn't quite that simple. Doctors have uncovered that many frozen products carry hidden risks, ingredients that can slowly take a toll on both your brain and your body. This isn't about strange or exotic foods you've never heard of. It's about 6 very common frozen items you'll find in countless American households. They might look completely harmless, but they could quietly be increasing your risk of serious health problems. In fact, some of them are probably in your freezer right now, and you may have been eating them without a second thought. The good news? Once you know which foods to watch out for and why they matter, you can make small, easy changes that protect your health, help you stay independent longer, and give you more energy to actually enjoy your days. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly how these 6 everyday frozen foods affect your body, why they're particularly risky after age 70, and what smarter choices you can make instead. Stick with me until the very end, because the last item on this list is one you probably believed was healthy, but doctors warn it could be doing quiet harm. Let's dive in. At first glance, a bag of frozen berries seems like one of the healthiest staples you could have in your kitchen. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, packed with vitamins, antioxidants, and flavor. But here's the catch. Many frozen berry mixes, especially the ones that come with syrups or added sweeteners, are not nearly as innocent as they look. Hidden sugars and preservatives inside them can fuel inflammation in your body, a process strongly tied to both cancer and dementia. Take 2 women as an example, Margaret and Joyce, both 75. Margaret always buys plain, unsweetened frozen berries and blends them into her smoothies or stirs them into oatmeal. She feels energetic, her weight stays stable, and her doctor is consistently impressed with her health results. Joyce, on the other hand, prefers the sweetened versions, assuming fruit is always good for her. Over time, that added sugar leads to higher blood pressure, stubborn belly weight, and constant fatigue after eating. What she doesn't realize is that those extra sugars are feeding the very processes in the body that drive up cancer risk and speed up cognitive decline. After 70, your body becomes less capable of handling sudden blood sugar spikes, and those fluctuations can directly impact how well your brain functions. The simple solution? Always check the label and look for phrases like unsweetened or no sugar added. If you find the fruit a little bland, try sprinkling some cinnamon or tossing in a handful of nuts instead of turning to syrup. The natural sweetness of the fruit is plenty on its own. This small shift can protect your brain, lower inflammation, and still let you enjoy the foods you love without the hidden dangers. Always pay attention to what's written on that frozen bag, because the difference between plain fruit and sugar-loaded fruit could literally mean the difference between protecting your brain and slowly harming it. For many families, fish sticks or breaded shrimp feel like a quick and easy way to get seafood on the table. They may look simple and harmless, but beneath that crispy golden breading on fish sticks or breaded shrimp is a mix of trans fats, additives, and refined oils that slowly wear down both the heart and the brain. Picture 2 men, Leonard and Frank, both in their late 70s. Leonard sticks with plain frozen salmon fillets. He seasons them lightly, bakes them, and enjoys a clean, simple meal. His cholesterol stays steady, his memory is sharp, and his doctor always praises his healthy habits. Frank, on the other hand, has leaned on frozen fish sticks for years. They're quick, nostalgic, and remind him of meals he once shared with his kids. The problem? That tasty breading is fried in oils linked to inflammation and artery damage. Over time, Frank notices his memory slipping, his blood pressure creeping up, and his energy fading. What feels like a comforting, innocent food is actually raising his risk for serious problems like dementia and cancer. The issue isn't the fish itself, it's the heavy processing, the frying oils, and the preservatives that keep those boxes shelf-stable for months. Once you're past 70, the body's defenses naturally weaken, and every hidden chemical carries a bigger punch. The fix is simple. Keep your seafood clean and straightforward. Choose plain frozen fish, season it yourself, and cook it in heart-healthy oils. If you miss that crunch, coat the fish lightly with oats or whole grain crumbs at home. You'll get the same texture without the harmful extras. Your body, and especially your brain, will thank you. If you're still watching and finding these tips useful, type the number 2 in the comments so I know you're here. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you won't miss future videos. Your support helps us keep making content that informs and inspires. Now let's move on. At first glance, frozen rice bowls seem harmless, even practical. Many older adults keep them in the freezer for nights when cooking feels like too much effort. But here's the catch. Most of those bowls are overloaded with sodium, sauces, and flavor enhancers that quietly strain your heart and brain. Take Mildred and Ruth, 2 women in their early 80s. Mildred cooks plain brown rice at home, freezes small portions, and reheats them as needed. Her meals stay balanced, her blood pressure remains steady, and her mind stays sharp. Ruth, however, often grabs ready-made frozen rice bowls, assuming they're perfectly portioned and convenient. What she doesn't realize is that a single bowl can contain nearly a whole day's worth of sodium, plus additives like MSG that can worsen memory issues. Over time, Ruth starts noticing swollen ankles, restless sleep, and bouts of brain fog. That quick convenience is costing her more than she expected. After 70, the kidneys and cardiovascular system become more sensitive, and too much salt pushes the risk of stroke, dementia, and heart problems higher. The encouraging news is that you don't have to sacrifice convenience to eat well. Cook a bigger batch of rice, freeze plain servings, and then add fresh vegetables or lean protein later. That way, you know exactly what's going into your food, and you sidestep the sodium trap altogether. Ask yourself this: are those frozen quick fixes in your freezer truly supporting your health, or are they slowly stealing it away piece by piece? Sometimes the difference comes down to spending just a few extra minutes preparing your own frozen staples instead of reaching for the store-bought kind. Few things feel as comforting as a warm slice of pie or a flaky pastry with your morning coffee. It's no wonder so many older adults keep frozen pies, turnovers, or breakfast pastries tucked away for little treats. But inside those convenient boxes hides a troubling mix: refined carbs, unhealthy oils, and chemical preservatives that quietly speed up aging and increase the risk of disease. Picture Walter and Arthur, both in their 70s. Walter bakes his own simple pies at home using whole grain crusts and fresh fruit. He keeps sugar to a minimum, opts for healthier fats, and often shares his creations with friends. Arthur, meanwhile, leans on frozen pastries because they're quick, tasty, and ready in minutes. What he doesn't see is the hidden cost. The refined flour spikes his blood sugar, the hydrogenated oils stiffen his arteries, and the preservatives linger in his system, slowly damaging cells. Over time, Arthur starts to gain weight around his belly, drags through sluggish mornings, and faces memory lapses that worry his family. Research has long shown that diets loaded with refined carbs and unhealthy fats raise the risks of dementia and cancer, especially once metabolism slows with age. The good news is there's a better option. If you crave something sweet, whip up simple homemade treats with cleaner ingredients, or enjoy fresh fruit with a spoonful of yogurt. Save frozen pastries for special occasions, not everyday habits. The comfort they bring is short-lived, but the harm can stick with you for years. Take a moment to think about what's sitting in your freezer right now. Each small choice adds up, either building more years of strength and clarity, or stacking up risks for decline. If you're still here watching, I'd love to know. Drop the number 4 in the comments to let me see you're with me. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss new videos. Your support is what helps us keep creating content to both inform and inspire. Now, let's move forward. On a chilly evening, nothing sounds better than a warm bowl of soup. Many seniors stock up on frozen soups or stews, believing they're nourishing and gentle on the stomach. But here's the catch: most store-bought frozen soups are loaded with hidden sodium, MSG, and stabilizers that slowly take a toll on brain health. Consider Irene and Lois, 2 women in their 70s. Irene makes her own chicken and vegetable soup at home, freezes it in small containers, and always has a healthy option ready to reheat. Her bowls are full of nutrients, lower in salt, and completely free of unnecessary chemicals. Lois, however, buys frozen soups, thinking they're just as wholesome and much easier. What she doesn't realize is that many of those soups contain nearly twice the sodium of a homemade version, plus flavor enhancers like MSG, which researchers have linked to memory issues and confusion in older adults. Over time, Lois starts to notice bloating, her rings fitting tighter, and frustrating moments where she can't recall simple details during conversations. The warm comfort Lois thought she was getting from those frozen soups is slowly costing her clarity and strength. After 70, the body becomes far more sensitive to sodium and chemical additives, and what once seemed harmless can now speed up decline. Here's the encouraging part. Soup is actually one of the easiest meals to prepare in bulk and freeze yourself. By making it with fresh vegetables, lean proteins, and herbs, you control every ingredient and keep it truly nourishing. So the next time you pull a container of soup from your freezer, ask yourself, does this bowl strengthen my body, or is it quietly putting extra stress on my heart and brain? When you choose the first option, you're protecting not just your health today, but also the memories and independence you want to keep tomorrow. Now, let's talk about another freezer favorite, those frozen smoothie packs and ready-made health shakes. At first glance, they look like the perfect shortcut to nutrition. The packaging shows fruits, vegetables, and promises of energy. But in reality, many of these products are far from natural. Hidden inside are artificial sweeteners, emulsifiers, and thickeners that slowly disrupt your gut, and when the gut suffers, the brain does too. Picture Eugene and Clarence, both in their early 80s. Eugene buys plain frozen fruit, blends it with spinach and yogurt, and enjoys a fresh, simple smoothie. His digestion stays steady, his weight remains healthy, and his mind feels sharp. Clarence, however, reaches for the pre-made smoothie packs, convinced the branding means they're healthier. What he doesn't realize is that artificial sweeteners upset his digestion, emulsifiers throw his gut bacteria out of balance, and over time his memory and mood begin to shift. Doctors now warn that these additives, though tiny in each serving, build up when eaten regularly, especially in seniors. The fix is simple. Skip the pre-made packs and make your own blends at home. It only takes a few minutes, and you'll know exactly what's going into your body. Your brain relies on that kind of care. So ask yourself, are those frozen shakes giving you life or quietly taking it away? Every step toward natural, unprocessed foods is a step toward protecting both your memory and your independence. If you're still watching, drop a number 6 in the comments so I know you're with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button and turn on the bell so you don't miss future videos. Your support is what makes it possible for us to keep creating helpful content like this. Now that we've covered these 6 unexpected frozen foods, it's time to take a closer look at your own freezer. Are you storing items that look harmless, but maybe quietly raising your risk of cancer and dementia? The surprising truth is that it's often the everyday staples, sweetened berries, breaded fish, rice bowls, pastries, soups, and even smoothie packs that can slowly erode your health after 70. But here's the good news, your future is not fixed. Most of these risks can be lowered simply by choosing plain versions, avoiding unnecessary additives, and preparing simple foods at home where you control what goes in. Your walking speed, your memory, your independence, all of these can be preserved by paying attention to what you eat each day. Think of it this way, your freezer can either be your ally or your enemy. The difference lies in what you decide to put inside. If you've recognized some of these foods in your own home, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Take it one step at a time. Swap sweetened berries for plain, trade fish sticks for unbreaded fillets, replace processed rice bowls with your own frozen portions. Each small adjustment adds up, building a future where you feel sharper, stronger, and more in control. Longevity isn't just about adding years, it's about adding quality to those years. Protecting your brain and body means staying independent longer, enjoying time with loved ones, and living with dignity and confidence. And remember, it's never too late to make a better choice for yourself. The power is in your hands, and the best time to act is now. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. I'd love to hear from you. Share one thing you learned in the comments and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts not only help us, they inspire others too. Reading your comments is one of the biggest motivations for our work. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. It truly helps us keep creating more content to inform and inspire. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.